Joining us now is Michelle Ferrer, and we're going to be talking about estates and trust and things like that. How are you?
I am well. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. You're a partner in a law firm. You have another partner, and that's Goldfine.
Yes.
Okay, so how did Ferrer Goldfine start?
So I actually started the firm 14 years ago
Okay,
with other partners. And since then, Kelly Goldfine has joined me. And we actually have another partner. His name is Elmer Martins. And so we're three partners now. Yeah.
lovely. You just shared with me also that you're a mom.
Yes.
Okay, so you've got a lot going on in your journey.
Yes.
Why is it important, no matter whether we're wealthy or not, that we have certain things in place, like estate planning,
Mhm.
wills, trust? Why?
Well, you never know what's going to happen, right?
Okay.
And estate planning is really the most loving thing you can do for your family. If you don't plan, then unfortunately there's likely going to be inadvertent consequences of your inactions. So, estate planning is not just planning for the inevitable death, right? It's the only thing certain in life. It's also planning for your lifetime, for incapacity, planning to name guardians for your minor children if you were to pass away, ensuring that they have trusts in place so they don't buy a Ferrari when they turn 21. But it's a whole process. It's not just planning for death. And a lot of people avoid it because it's a boring topic, or it's a topic that they just don't want to face their own mortality. So it's really important to do it. And I have said that many, many times, and we actually trademarked the phrase now. Estate planning is the most loving thing you can do for your family.
It is the most loving thing you can do for your family. And I told you I need the help, right? I need the help.
I'll do it for you.
So what, you can help me? I need help myself.
Well, I'm licensed in New York
So
and New Jersey, so I
there
can
you go.
certainly help
So
you.
I realize now after you go through different life stages, right? And then you watch, your friends' parents pass, and, you know, it's a lot,
Yes.
right? And these are simple things. It's just a formula, right?
Mhm.
And then you do some customization. There's nothing to fear, right?
Correct.
And all they need to do is just like trust you. What is it about it that makes it so scary? Is it just the fear of death?
I think culturally for some people, it's we don't talk about that because
Okay.
if we talk about death, then it happens. For others, it's just they don't want to think about it. They're too young, or they just think that I'll do that next year, and then they'll think about me when they're boarding a plane on a family vacation, or when they have a
They're calling you
loved.
like, Michelle, Michelle,
Can you do
right?
this for me in 3 days? No, I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
can't. Um, or I think for a lot of people, it's when they have seen a friend lose a parent or a loved one or a peer, right? It really hits you hard when it's not your parents that are going, but it's your friends, or a friend gets diagnosed with something, terminal, and you're like, oh my goodness, this is happening in my age group now,
Yeah.
right? So I think that kind of triggers a lot of feelings for people, but this doesn't have to be a daunting process. I try
Okay.
to make it as easy as possible.
Okay. What are the steps, Michelle? What does somebody need to do? Like when you go get your taxes done, you know that you've got to bring all your receipts, right?
Mhm.
Do people come to you with like bags of stuff and they'll be like,
Well,
here?
I have had people come in with a box of things,
Okay, a box.
but
Okay.
we're in a digital age. We can do everything online for the most part, except for that last final meeting where we get together and we sign everything.
Okay.
Everything can mostly be done online. So
Really?
I send a client intake form, which will help the client gather all the information. 99% of the information that I'm going to need. The other part is kind of like talking to them and getting some of the information out from them. An intake, so I take the intake form and the estate planning engagement letter, which kind of explains what I'm going to do, what the fees are, so it's all transparent. And then we go from there. We do a design meeting. It could be via Zoom, it could be in person. And we get through that process. I ask them the questions because it's really 3 to 4 major documents.
Okay.
It's the last will and testament, which most people think this is the centerpiece of the estate plan.
They do think that that's the centerpiece of it, but it's not really.
It can be,
Okay.
but the revocable living trust is something that can benefit a lot of people to avoid the probate process.
Right. Because probate's not good.
It's not good. Certainly not in New York, but really anywhere.
Okay.
So if you can avoid probate by creating and funding a revocable living trust. So the will becomes secondary if you have a trust.
Okay.
And then the two other documents are really powers of attorney: general durable power of attorney and a healthcare power of attorney, which is really stating your medical wishes on paper and then appointing an agent, a representative, to really make those decisions for you based on what you're going to give them guidance, obviously. And then while you have capacity, you're going to continue to make all medical decisions. But God forbid you become incapacitated, hey, you have somebody there who knows your wishes and is going to carry them out. So it's really, it's a whole it's not just death planning. It's
Okay.
planning during your lifetime as well.
Interesting. Now, how long can that document stay in effect? Right? I mean, do people that did their will, trust and estate, and their living trust back in the day, right? Is it still effective or do they need like a checkup?
I always say you should check it up every 2 years,
Okay.
only because there could be changes in law, like tax laws, that are always in flux that maybe your estate could benefit from. The other thing would be, we noticed this a little bit during the pandemic, where powers of attorney, when they were going to be used,
Hmm.
they were considered stale
Okay.
by some financial institutions. And they
Okay.
were like, okay, can we get a new one? And we're like, well, now this person's incapacitated.
Yeah.
We can't really get one. So it's good to like re-sign those. But a will doesn't expire, neither does a trust.
Okay.
So you may not need changes for those documents ever. But it's good to review them, make sure your executor is still the one you want, the trustee, make sure circumstances in your beneficiaries' lives haven't changed where they need added protections. And you just want to make sure that you're just having a look every now and then because it's not just set it and forget it.
And guardians can go inside the will as well. So if you have minor
Right.
children, you can put that into the will.
Yes, you will. That's where you name guardians for minor children in your last will and testament. Correct.
Okay. Mine are
Mhm.
not minors anymore, but it's good for the audience just in case. Also, pets. Have you ever,
Yes.
do you, yeah,
Hmm.
your law firm take care of that
We
too?
do. So, yeah, if you have little furry friends, we can plan for them.
Okay.
We can have trusts in place for them. We can name pet guardians and give them budgets to, care for your furry friends when you pass. Why not?
Michelle, I thank you
Yeah,
very
thank you
much
for having me.
because it is kind of scary. And you're right. We're at the age now where our friends are, facing traumatic illnesses, and
Mhm.
all they need to do is like contact you, do a couple of intake forms, and then do a
Yeah.
follow up meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're licensed in New York and New Jersey. And we partner with local counsel in other states that we're not licensed in.
That's perfect because now the show is like coast to coast. So as I've grown and as my career's
Amazing.
grown, the show's grown, it has a life of its own. So we had to protect the whole life wherever anybody lives and in 25 countries. So like,
Wow.
but in the United States, it's good to know that you have referral partners.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We do. And I have referral partners in other countries as well.
You do?
I have attorneys that I work with in Spain.
Lovely.
So, yeah.
There you go. So wherever you're watching the Donna Drake show, it's Donna Drake and Michelle, and we're wishing you a happy journey, but also it's the most loving thing you could do is to just be taking care of those that we leave behind. That's why I'm decluttering right now. Maybe you'll start too. Thanks for watching.